if you take your armored car to a mechanic and he says, the main structure is good, but there are a bunch of loose metal bolts and screws rattling around inside your Ferrari's engine, and we're going to try to manage it. You don't get in that car and accelerate at 200 miles per hour on the highway. You park it. You know the engine is going to explode on the first turn. Brian Cashman had the keys to that exact Ferrari in his hands. The golden target for the Yankees in this market window was Cincinnati Reds phenom Hunter Greene. The machine throwing 103 miles per hour with the kind of raw stuff that makes scouts lose sleep. But the mechanics report just leaked to the press. Greene went to microphones and said his ligament is clean. Then he casually confessed that he felt pain all last season, took injections, and has bone spurs floating around inside his elbow. And you know what happened when that inflamed joint took the mound in spring training this week? He lasted exactly 1 inning and got shelled for 4 runs. Today we're dissecting the anatomy of this medical time bomb. Why obsessing over radar gun velocity is the deadliest trap in modern baseball. How baseball's fast karma destroys anyone who buys damaged goods. And what it means to escape a potential public relations disaster by mere centimeters. Before we pull up the MRI on your screen, I'm dropping the New York operations phone in your hand. Would you be willing to absorb the risk, trusting that the Yankees medical department can repair Hunter Greene and send elite prospects to Cincinnati just to acquire that raw brute force in your rotation? Or do you block Cincinnati's number, shred the trade proposals, and thank your lucky stars you escaped paying millions for a pitcher who is headed straight to the operating table? Think like a surgeon with a cold mind, because a broken arm does not win the World Series. Let's walk into the mathematics of this collapse. Baseball has a lethal obsession with 3-digit velocity. Everyone wants a 103 miles per hour guy. The problem is that the human body does not care about what everyone wants. The physics of the human arm, the ligaments, the tendons, the labrum, the rotator cuff, operates under laws that no amount of organizational ambition can negotiate around. Hunter Greene throws 103 miles per hour because his arm is built to generate that kind of force. That same arm is also, based on his own public admissions, experiencing chronic pain, requiring injections to manage inflammation, and developing bone spurs, which are the body's way of signaling that the joint is under unsustainable stress. Bone spurs do not heal on their own. They do not stabilize and then allow a pitcher to return to form. There are a warning light on the dashboard that says, this arm is operating at the edge of its structural tolerance. And when an arm operating at the edge of its structural tolerance takes the mound in a competitive game, the results are not subtle. 1 inning, 4 runs, the body's way of saying, I cannot do this anymore. Now, let's talk about what Cincinnati actually knows and what they are actually trying to do. The Reds are not stupid. They have the same medical reports the Yankees would have. They understand the injury timeline. They know the prognosis. And they are not calling the Yankees to do them a favor or to help New York build a championship rotation. Cincinnati is calling to transfer a medical bill before it becomes catastrophic. Think about it from their perspective. Greene is under contract. His arm is deteriorating. The bone spurs are documented. The pain is documented. The injections are documented. Cincinnati has 2 choices. Hold on to a pitcher whose body is sending increasingly urgent distress signals and hope he somehow stabilizes, or move him to another organization before the inevitable Tommy John surgery happens on your watch. If Greene blows out his elbow in a Reds uniform, Cincinnati owns a narrative. They own the medical failure. They own the prospect of a franchise pitcher spending 18 months in recovery while still collecting a salary that eats into the payroll. If Greene blows out his elbow in a Yankees uniform, it becomes New York's problem. The Yankees own the narrative. The Yankees own the medical failure. The Yankees own the financial hit of a pitcher on the injured list drawing $8 to $10 million per year while contributing nothing. Cincinnati is not negotiating a star. Cincinnati is transferring liability, and the asking price of that transfer is whatever elite prospects the Yankees are willing to surrender. That is not a trade. That is a con. And here is where the fast karma arrives and parts itself directly on Cashman's desk. The Yankees' organizational weakness has always been the same. They chase the shiniest toy in the room and ignore the foundation underneath it. They want the 103 miles per hour fastball. They want the name. They want the headline that says, Yankees acquire star pitcher. They do not want to sit in a room with medical directors and honestly confront the reality that the arm they are acquiring is a ticking clock. The punishment for that approach is always the same. You pay premium prospect capital for a pitcher who spends his Yankees tenure on the injured list, while the prospects you surrender develop into stars in another organization's system. If the Yankees had closed their eyes to Greene's medical reports, sent the prospect to Cincinnati, and brought him to the Bronx, here is the most likely timeline. May. Greene makes 2 to 3 starts, shows flashes of brilliance, then reports elbow soreness. June. MRI reveals the inevitable. The bone spurs progress, the ligament is compromised, Tommy John surgery is recommended. July-December 2026. Greene undergoes surgery and begins a 12 to 18-month recovery process while drawing full salary. 2027 and beyond. The Yankees hope for a return to form that statistically does not happen for pitchers who undergo Tommy John surgery at Greene's age with his injury history. Meanwhile, the prospects Cincinnati received in the trade are in their age 25 season, performing at the big league level, contributing to the Reds' competitive window. The Yankees would have paid elite prospect capital to finance Cincinnati's roster upgrade while receiving nothing but medical liability in return. That is the karma. That is the price of chasing velocity without confronting the medical reality underneath it. And the beautiful part of this story, the part that actually matters, is that Cashman apparently did not make this trade. The report suggests the Yankees stepped back from a negotiation. They looked at Greene's medical file, understood what Cincinnati was actually trying to do, and decided that 103 miles per hour on a deteriorating arm was not worth the prospect cost. That is not a glamorous decision. It will not generate headlines. It will not satisfy the fans who want to see the Yankees acquire a star pitcher, but it is the correct decision. It is a decision that protects the organization's long-term competitive window instead of mortgaging it for short-term excitement. The escape from this trap was the best trade the Yankees did not make. Now, let's address the broader rotation question, because the Yankees do need pitching help. That part is not in dispute. The question is what form the help takes and what price it carries. The market for available starting pitchers exists. It includes veterans with proven durability, arms that have already survived the rigors of a full season, pitchers whose medical profiles are not screaming warning signals. Those pitchers cost money. Yes, they might not carry the raw stuff of a 103 miles per hour prospect, but they also will not require Tommy John surgery in May. That is a trade-off worth making. The operations phone is in your hands right now. You understand the rotation needs help. You also understand that Hunter Greene's arm is a medical liability masquerading as an opportunity. Cincinnati is trying to transfer a problem, not sell a solution. Do you authorize Cashman to step away from Greene completely, block Cincinnati's number, and pursue durable veteran arms in the trade market, even if those arms lack the sexy radar gun numbers? Or do you believe that the risk-reward of a 103 miles per hour arm is worth the prospect capital and the medical gamble? Drop your verdict in the comments. Block Cincinnati, find durable veterans. Or the 103 miles per hour is worth the risk, make the trade. Because in baseball, the best trade you can make is sometimes the one you refuse to make, especially when the other team is trying to transfer a medical bill before it explodes. And don't blink. While we're dodging medical landmines in the pitching market, a significant roster decision just hit the headlines in the AL West. A team sitting directly in the Yankees' path to October just made a move that could reshape the entire competitive landscape heading into opening day. What that move is and how it affects New York's championship odds. That story drops in the next video. Stay locked in.